Hello and welcome back to Ciconia When They Cry. I will be playing chapter 11 today, and I actually just played the last two chapters, or like half of chapter 9 and chapter 10 in the same session, so I think this will be my last one for today, but for you, who knows when it is. Either way, crazy things are happening as always. If there are any important content warnings or anything, I will be sure to put them in the description, because who can say, right? I have no idea. But I wouldn't put it past uh anyone. So, let's just keep going, I say. And we've got our quote. All is in the name of guiding humanity down the right path. Mitake Tojiro. Oh, our clock. It's getting there, isn't it? Yep. I'm very apprehensive for basically the rest of the phase at this point. I don't know if we'll have any more happy let's go shopping times. Let's go to the public bathroom. Okay. Today, the AOU Joint Parliament has authorized a military assault on behalf of our government against the COU Japanese military's border guards, which are illegally expanding into the Glass Sea. Our targets are anti-aircraft positions currently under construction in the central part of the Glass Sea, as well as anti-aircraft vehicles deploying into the area. As soon as the operation begins, the aerial augmented infantry will advance at extreme low altitude, subduing the groups of anti-aircraft vehicles. After that, our fighter jet squadrons will push forward, subduing our targets with air-to-ground missiles. Okanogi. Rejoice, Warcats! It's finally your turn! Show them the power of the aerial augmented infantry! Your only job is to turn 4 of the COU's damned anti-aircraft vehicles into scrap. It's enough to make you laugh, giving a little job like this to people with the power to take on a whole airbase. Those old assholes don't believe in your strength at all. Prove to them that all your puking's paid off. The anti-aircraft vehicles being deployed are King's Shield 2900 Supers, which are autonomous short-range air defense systems. They're armed with 8-barreled 30mm rotary autocannons, as well as short-range surface-to-air guided missiles. However, they're running on previous generation software, so it's expected that they'll have difficulty targeting aerial augmented infantry soldiers. In other words, they're no match for you. Once you've finished your job, get out of there at full speed. You'll have longbow missiles flying over your heads, so it's all gonna go up in flames, you hear me? Old Man Okanogi's really hyper today. It's pretty amusing. Until now, he's been calling us esport gamers all the time. We'll show them that we Gauntlet Knights are game changers. Today, they'll see that the world's military might and peace don't belong to geezers in conference rooms or middle-aged guys swaggering around. They belong to us, the young. Yeah. We'll crush the schemes of those old assholes who treat war like a game. Meow, could I have a moment of your time right now? I feel like I always give Lingji a different voice. I don't know what it is. I'll try my best though. If not, I'll just leave my messages here. I don't have time, but I'm listening. What is it? This is just me talking to myself. Don't leave a record of it. Of course. We may be from different countries, but we're comrades flying in the same sky. About COU Japan's military expansion into the Glass Sea. Even in the COU, everyone isn't unanimously in favor of it. On the contrary, far more people are criticizing it, saying it will only provoke the AOU. Please, don't misunderstand. Even in the COU, none of us want war. Of course not. I never thought you did. I'm sure it's the same here. The crazy geezers who want war are moving ahead by themselves. About these crazy geezers moving ahead by themselves. Does that include the AOU Atlantic Fleet? Retabil! I hate keeping secrets, especially from those who fought with us at the Battle Standard Festival. So, I'll tell you. Today, the ACR Royal Family has ordered the Aerial Night Corps to intercept the AOU America Atlantic Fleet that's approaching the waters around the Atlantis Spirit Field. I'll be leading that force. From what I've heard on the news, even in the AOU, lots of people think the movement of the Atlantic Fleet is going too far. Some people even think the Navy is running wild to make sure people don't forget about them. People in the COU have reached the same conclusion. They think that if those people have a chance to look good, there may be no stopping them. It's just like you said, Meow. Whether it's the subjects of the ACR or the citizens of the AOU, no one wants war. It's merely a scheme by someone planning to rake in money by stirring up war. However, if we go too far, that will just fan the flames even more. Very well. As a representative of the ACR Royal Family, I think I'll make a courtesy call to a certain aircraft carrier that bears the name of a former president. We're counting on you, Retabil. Our enemies aren't the people and things in front of us. I understand. Leave it to me. Princess Retabil, pardon me for interrupting while you're talking. I suppose the order has been given to attack that refugee camp, yes? I know nothing about that, nor have I been told anything. Still, I'm just going to talk to myself a bit. The Father King who founded our nation said he would reject none who came and chase none who left. If people unable to adjust to the ACR seek asylum, our national policy is not to chase them. However, the ACR Royal Family has far too many people in it. I cannot deny that there are some troublesome princes who fight over who can be more patriotic and radical, seeking more influence. You're saying that this incident doesn't reflect what the ACR Royal Family truly wants? Whatever the ABN wants to do, for whatever reason it has, that's for the ABN to decide. However, if you go too far, even the Royal Family will be unable to hold back its hardliners. I don't think I need say more, yes? Of course not, Princess. We aren't a form of military might that exists to start wars. Yeah, we're guardians of peace. Stanislaw. No, I believe you wanted to be called Stan. Can I assume that the forceful mining of spirit fields in Kashmir is the result of an ABN hardliner faction moving ahead on its own? Of course. Everyone in the ABN wants peace. True, the ABN has no large-scale spirit fields, and they want the Kashmir spirit field more than anything. However, no one wants it in exchange for someone's blood. Every now and then, someone in the Leadership Council says that we should immediately stop the mining machines, but the military and hardliners apparently opposed that strongly, saying that we couldn't afford to look weak. And if the COU military were to attack the mining machines? Your press secretary has already announced that you won't refrain from military action if the mining machines are not stopped. On the contrary, if you don't respond, it will probably give the hardliners even more power. So, do it neatly, without going too far. Is that what you're saying? Gauntlet Knights have the military might to lift mountains and the precision of a needle's point. We can do this. We can crush the sprouts of war. I'm so glad I met you all at the Battle Standard Festival. Let's go. It's time to teach those mischief makers a lesson. Meow, I'm grateful to you as well. If you hadn't spoken up at the public bath, and if you hadn't sent the email that made us join forces, some of us might have mistakenly thought of ourselves as mere game pieces in a war. Meow, I'm so glad to have a friend like you. I keep doing that. Once the 8 squads, including Baibao, reach the area of operations, they will attack the 8 mining machines and render them inoperable. You have been given complete discretion to respond to any attacks by the ABN military. How foolish. Why would we need to fight back against attacks by old-style weapons that cannot even hit us? Listen up. Baibao will make precision strikes against the mining machines alone. It will not be necessary to attack anything else. After all, unlike the Battle Standard Festival, destroying more than we need won't raise our scores. This strike is merely a message to ABN hardliners, who have no intention of talking this over for the sake of international cooperation. Take great care to avoid unnecessary human casualties. As you command. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. It would be great if it did, but I kind of get the impression that things might go south. We'll see though. Maybe I should believe in them. The refugee camp on the ABN Libyan coast is located on land being indefinitely leased from the ABN. Under the assumption that criminals are being concealed in that camp, they're demanding that they be allowed to conduct a compulsory inspection, but we are not prepared to capitulate to such a violation of human rights. 3 squads led by the Holy O-901st Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad, Belathatsuyuf, will immediately enter the area and protect the refugee camp, as well as the leader of peace that the ABN government is demanding be handed over. I see. So we're buying time for a political solution. After all, the border of that leased land is like a minefield, a loophole in the law. It's a powder keg that might go off if either government touches it carelessly. However, some young old people who just got their hands on power foolishly want to poke at it, so solve the issue quickly and earn more influence. If these people all came seeking asylum in the ABN, why hasn't the ABN ever accepted them? Wow. An allergy to immigrants isn't easily cured, even after the miracle of 3 religions joining hands. Still, this time, the ABN will finally give them asylum, right? That's right. They're even being pushed from behind. So, this issue has now been solved reasonably well. This problem mustn't be allowed to smolder any longer. After all, Gauntlet Knights are Knights of the Sky who keep the peace, wow! The AOU Atlantic Fleet has ignored repeated warnings and is still approaching the seas around the Atlantic Spirit Field. No matter what the cost, no matter how much blood we shed, the Aerial Knight Corps must repel this assault. The ACR's destiny depends on this one battle. Shoot down all foreign invaders, and long live the king! Sheesh. You know, it really grips your soul when they read out a script like that from an air-conditioned room. If you speak out of turn, it'll affect your official assessment. Ishak, Abdu. No, everyone involved in this attack. Hear me. This is Retabil of Squad 601. Don't misunderstand your mission. Our goal is to make the enemy fleet turn back. We are merely paying them an honorable visit, as subjects of the glorious ACR. And if they want to fight? Fool! Did you really think a carrier strike group would be any match for us aerial knights? Ishak got shot down. This is not merely our first military operation since the founding of the ACR. It is also the first campaign of the glorious Aerial Knight Corps. We need neither valor nor barbarism, neither destruction nor bloodshed. All knights, follow me. I'll show you how to fight with honor. The glass sea lay at Japan's center. It was a massive crater over 100 kilometers in radius, created by a solar warhead that had been launched during World War III. It was a vast region where nothing existed, where the silence of death continued on the horizon. It was a World War relic, visual proof that nothing good ever comes from war. How ironic that war would come to this stage again. A military vehicle stopped at the edge of the massive crater, and Meow and the others got out. They had managed to come this far in secret. However, in order to reach their target at the center of the Glass Sea, they would have to fly 100 kilometers over an area with no cover whatsoever. Even flying at 500 kilometers per hour, it would take them 12 minutes to reach that point. They would skim over the surface of the ground, avoiding detection by the enemy for as long as possible. The flow of Amos is favorable. If we're lucky, we might not be noticed until we make contact with the enemy. Guess it's a challenge to see how closely we can hug the ground. Just you watch. I'll get so close to kissing the earth, I'd be able to shave my chin with the surface. Make sure you don't die in battle before the battle even starts. If you do, we'll have to engrave your idiocy on your tombstone. Here lies the world's first gauntlet knight killed in battle, who died trying to shave himself with the ground. Quit kidding around. Instead, I'll make you write that I was the world's first gauntlet knight to distinguish himself in battle. The command center has given the order to begin the operation, Pollo. The strategic officer was giving hand signals for them to start the attack. The three of them nodded, then raced up the ridge that formed the rim of the crater. The vast, lifeless glass sea stretched out to the horizon in front of them, along with a cold, dry wind. The blue light seemed more callous than beautiful. Just our luck, even though it's almost Christmas. Guys, Christmas was when he was gonna talk to Meow. Also, almost Christmas. What? Let's go, Warcats! As they raced down the cliff, they leapt off empty air, and in an instant they were flying at incredible speeds, just like bullets. Behind them was a faint cloud of dust, and a splash of things that looked like angel feathers. Their target, the center of the Glass Sea 100 kilometers away, was quite noisy with the roar of construction equipment. Anti-aircraft equipment was being constructed with military 4D printers. Once that was complete, it would probably be possible for them to grasp the initiative all across the Glass Sea. These new he has so many, medallions, I guess those are. These new model machines are splendid. At this rate, we should have anti-aircraft equipment ready to go right away. This is the first step on COU Japan's path. No, my path to glory. Still, is this really all right? I can't imagine that the AOU will overlook this. Both you and the higher-ups give the AOU too much credit. Oh, I guess that was another guy talking to him, sorry. They're cowards, I tell you, cowards. They can't do anything. Look here. Once this is complete and we've built up our position enough, all those weaklings will see that I was right. Colonel, pardon the interruption, but we've received a message from the command center. Aerial support in the skies above the Glass Sea will be suspended for the next 24 hours. What did you say? These are the front lines of COU Japan. Why? Why won't the Air Force fly for 24 hours? Is this a political decision? Who decided to play wait and see? Give me a line to command. Hello, girl. Yes, thank you. That's a real help. No, a favor for you is no trouble at all, Major Mitake. Thank you for your gracious financial support. Same here. I owe you one from last time. Let's break apart the old asshole's game, along with the game board itself. Yes. You take care too, Major Mitake. All is in the name of guiding humanity down the right path. Yeah, down the right path. Interesting. So I guess... yeah, okay. With regards to the Kashmir Spirit Field, even though the Leadership Council of ABN Pakistan has advised that the mining machines be shut down immediately for the sake of opening a dialogue with the COU, there's still no sign of them stopping. It's been pointed out that the ABN's peculiarly complicated political situation and their focus on saving face has made this a difficult problem to solve. It's led to a bizarre situation where no one has the authority to stop the mining machines once they've started moving, even if no one wants this to happen. Look at this. There's a crowd of people pushing forward. A main street in Islamabad has been filled with citizens protesting for their government to stop this provocation and work towards peace. Oh, just now, armed police forces have started firing off tear gas. This is becoming completely chaotic and... Exploitation of spirit fields is first come, first serve. Whoever shows up first gets a well filled to the brim with money. Those cowards are so frightened, but there's no way this will actually lead to war. Even if it did, that just gives the military more of a chance to shine. I'd also get a medal, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. This is the flagship of the Atlantic Fleet, the aircraft carrier Roger Jameson, reading you loud and clear. I've got good news, so listen up. It seems the ACR has no intention of withdrawing from the Atlantis Spirit Field. Just now, we received their official refusal via diplomatic channels. We'll fight them on the seas, we'll fight them in the air, woohoo! Let's show them that the Atlantic Fleet isn't just for show. And let both the ACR royal family and those wimps up the chain of command see. If only I could have been a captain when this happened. I'm so jealous of you. I keep getting confused because the other guys don't get like sprites, so my bad, guys. Pardon me, but the primary mission of the AOU Atlantic Fleet is to support the Walls of Peace. Fighting a sea or air war is only one of our many, many means of doing so, and it's hardly a good one. What are you talking about? I never knew you were so gutless! Just turn over command of your ship already. I'll go back to active duty and give the order to... Huh? Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Hello? You're breaking up, so I'll have to end this transmission. Contact all ships. No matter what happens, you're forbidden from initiating combat unless I order it. Unless you're actually hit, you mustn't respond to any sort of warning shots they fire. Captain, are you saying we should let them strike first? If we're hit with an ACR saturation attack, we'll be destroyed before we have a chance to fight back. I have faith in the first captain of the ACR Atlantis, Vice Admiral Krumar. We're rivals who once competed in the naval division of the Battle Standard Festival. And he should know that I'm commanding this fleet. We're fellow comrades supporting the Walls of Peace from both sides. He may enter the same waters as us as a political pawn, but I'm confident that he isn't the sort of person who would commit himself to a meaningless fight. Gulp. Leaving clouds of dust behind them, a caravan of military vehicles was pushing the members of a refugee camp through desert terrain. The cries of women and children came from all over, and the scene was wrapped in chaos. This land is part of an ABN base. The ACR military isn't allowed to trespass here. Shut up! Be quiet and cook some food for these beggars or something. If you complain, you'll be shot. How is this a refugee camp? It's just a rallying point for terrorists who refuse to swear allegiance to His Majesty. His Majesty is a gracious man. I cannot imagine that he would call the people in this camp terrorists. Shut up! It's our job as subjects to take care of dirty jobs so that His Majesty needn't bother himself with them. Quickly, find the man we're searching for. Arrest him for being a suspected spy. Don't kill him. After all, we've still got to make him talk. Countless races and religions had always existed on the continent of Africa. The founding father of the ACR, the Hero King, had united them through quite forceful means. Doing so had made it impossible for a good number of people to stay in the ACR. Some of those people had gathered in a buffer zone near a military base on land they were leasing from the ABN and formed a refugee camp. Neither the ABN nor the ACR wanted to provoke the other, so for a long time, the existence of this camp was ignored. However, in recent years, some extremist generals in the ACR had started claiming that this camp was being used to hide terrorists who objected to the foundation of the ACR. Isn't the ABN going to save us? Will they abandon the people of this camp in order to preserve the peace with the ACR? And besides, it's ridiculous to call that person a terrorist. He was only helping people who weren't able to live in the ACR as an act of goodwill, and... Again and again with the noise! Why should I care about that? Haven't you found him yet? Announce that we'll kill the people in this camp one by one until he comes out. That should make him show his face. Don't actually kill anyone, okay? I just want the credit, not a mess on my hands. That's insane. You're doing all this just so you can give your career a boost? Pardon me. I have excellent news. We've arrested and detained him. So you found him? Then let's disperse at once. If the ABN military actually shows up, this really will get messy. How's that for an accomplishment? This will cement my place as the leader of the young, go-getter generals, and those elders won't be able to get enough of me. The Atlantis Spirit Field. It got that name because it was located in a region of the sea to the west of Africa, where the legendary continent of Atlantis had supposedly once existed. Currently, it was the ACR's greatest supply of spiridium. However, since the very beginning, there had been trouble with the AOU over who had ownership rights to this spirit field. For this reason, the ACR treated this area as their nation's most vital line of defense, and had stationed the Super Fortress-class segmented warship Atlantis here solely for its protection. This collection of 7 linked Fortress-class warships truly was a fortress on the sea. Vice Admiral Krumar, we're being contacted by Lady Wraithaville of the ACR royal family. Princess, I hope you are well. The command center has ordered the Atlantis to intercept any attack, correct? Yes. We've been told to decouple and enter an intercept formation. However, it doesn't seem as though you've decoupled yet, correct? Princess, Stop there. You needn't say any more, Vice Admiral. And there's no need to decouple either. Afterwards, you can dodge the issue by saying the decoupling mechanism didn't deploy properly. Princess, that means... Leave the AOU Atlantic Fleet to me. Leave it to the Aerial Night Corps? That would be too dangerous. Princess, if anything were to happen to you... Right now, I'm a soldier of the skies before I'm a member of the royal family. At any rate, you must let me have the first strike in this battle. Don't worry, there is no danger. Didn't you say it yourself? The person leading the AOU fleet is a peace-loving man worthy of respect. You need not worry. As a representative of the ACR royal family, I will merely be paying them a courtesy call. However, if they do not wish to respond in kind, we'll show both them and you the power of our Aerial Night Corps. You'll see that I'm not so frail that you need to be worried for my sake. The Aerial Knights are the sole, unparalleled form of military might in this new era. We're servants who support the walls of peace. I'll prove that with my own body. Princess, as you command. I wish you luck. Your Excellency, are you sure about this? If we don't decouple, we'll make a perfect target for the AOU fleet. Fear not. Contact all ships of the Atlantis. The Atlantis will not move. Rulers always stand firm. It is with that dignity that we will await the AOU fleet. I'm not getting anywhere with you. Get me your superior, now! War isn't waged in a conference room. It happens on the front lines. If you've got a problem with that, say it to my face. Gahahaha! Transmission over. This already isn't what we'd planned for. We only constructed this base because we knew we'd have air support. And I'm sure even the AOU now knows that we've lost it. What, are you scared? Coward! Who needs air support? Have you forgotten about the Army's fighting spirit? The AOU will definitely attack. If we take losses, who's going to take responsibility? You low-level officers and soldiers will, obviously. And you claim that you aren't a coward? If the AOU attacks, are you going to say you fought bravely? Naturally! Come on, attack us if you can, AOU. I'll show you what my bravery is worth! Whoa! That's one vehicle down. Woohoo! Did you see that? That's my first hit! Idiot, don't shoot their fuel tanks. What if someone gets caught in the explosion? Don't worry, there wasn't anyone around. I checked. Yahoo! Calm down, dumbass. Look at how dark it is. They can't see us in the night sky. Stay calm and accurately shoot through the enemy's weaknesses. Understood. Destroy only the unmanned weapons. Don't create unnecessary casualties. If it didn't matter how many casualties they created, they could have ended everything before anyone noticed, launching an all-out attack with small, highly maneuverable missiles. However, Meow and the others chose not to do that. They closed in to a distance of several dozen meters, accurately sniping just the vital components of the anti-aircraft vehicles. The weapons they had chosen for this attack were anti-material rifles loaded with super high-density shells. These had been tested for use as infantry anti-tank weapons, which could pierce almost any sort of armor. However, their power dropped off greatly with distance, so in order to use them against enemies that required their use, infantrymen would have to get so close that these weapons were considered about as useful as bamboo spears. However, Gauntlet Knights didn't have that problem. The invincible rejection shield made it possible for them to easily approach any sort of enemy. Whoa! Whoa! This is crazy. Enemy troops are approaching. Watch out for friendly fire. There they are, above those anti-aircraft vehicles. Fire! 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 What in the world? Our shells aren't working? Fall back! Fall back! They're gauntlets! Don't tell me they're really using them in actual combat! Whoa, animation movement. Whoa, boom! Is that what that says? Boom, boom. I've destroyed its power source. That's 2 down. Whoa, I got 1 too. That's 3 down. This is the end. Last one. Whoa. After destroying all their targets, the Warcats flew up into the night sky and looked down. They faded into the sky's darkness, so the COU troops couldn't see them at all. They continued to fire blindly into the sky, but even that gradually faded. This is the Warcats! We've disabled all 4 vehicles! We're monitoring you here. That was a rapid and splendid achievement. Overwhelming, in fact. Did you take any damage at all? All Warcats are in prime condition! Even the command center had only half believed in the aerial augmented infantry when sending them into the fight. In part, this had been forced as a result of political pressure. Nearly everyone in the command center had assumed that Gauntlet Knights only had power in VR. Roger that, Warcats! Our fighter squadrons are about to launch a missile strike, so pull out of there. Roger that! Warcats, return to base! What on earth? Those precious anti-aircraft vehicles I borrowed have been... Gauntlet Knights. So, they aren't just fairy tales that exist only in simulators. So, they aren't just fairy tales that exist only in simulators? Seriously? That's not fair. Ninjas flying in the sky with barriers? What are we supposed to do about those? Only the anti-aircraft vehicles had been neatly destroyed. There was nothing left to do here but get caught up in the subsequent bombing raid. They had to retreat right away. And yet, the soldiers who had been left behind just stared stunned at the sky, lit by the burning anti-aircraft vehicles. In that sky, they could see the glint of several softly glowing angel feathers. And is that the end of the chapter? Maybe? I spoke too soon. My voice is getting kind of tired, so it might be nice if that came soon, but I'm like, I have to keep going. I know I don't have to, but I want to, because I don't want to leave off in the middle of the chapter again. Okay, what's our air defense system doing? Why won't it fire? They're too close. Have you ever heard of an automated fire control system that could take on humans flying close enough to engage in hand-to-hand combat? Everyone knew the word Gauntlet Knight. They had even seen them at the Battle Standard Festival, and they often appeared in games, so they were at least as well known as UFOs or Nessie. However, to think that they actually did exist, and were actually capable of taking part in a real fight. I don't care what you do, just get rid of them. The golden wells that keep bringing me money are getting destroyed one by one.
Princess, Honglong Squad has successfully blasted the 7th mining shaft.
Our allies haven't taken any losses, yes? And the same goes for our enemies?
Of course. Some of the soldiers have given up on shooting, instead focusing their efforts on filming us.
What a lack of tension for a war zone. The rejection shield truly is terrifying. We truly are game changers. Starting today, all existing military might will lose its meaning.
To think that the few of us would come to be synonymous with military might. I am not sure if that's wonderful or terrifying.
Whoa. Lingji's shield was grazed by bullets fired by soldiers who apparently hadn't yet lost the will to fight. In the modern battlefield, no matter what sort of hero you are, a single stray bullet can kill you if you aren't careful. However, that law of the battlefield didn't even apply to Gauntlet Knights. Calmly looking down on a war zone from above is a sort of gravitas allowed only to the rulers of a battlefield. Let's destroy the eighth and withdraw. I'll take care of the final one.
Hold on a second, Princess. You know, there's someone who's been waiting all day, eager to look cool in front of you. Right?
Why are you looking at me? I do not find this amuse. I see. After all, this is the final act of our very first sortie. Of course you'd want to finish it off looking incredibly cool. Momotake, please end this with that finishing move you're so proud of.
Good for you, you get a chance to shine. Now you really get to say the name we thought up together for that cool finishing move of yours.
What do you mean, a name? I want to hear it, Momotake. I have no idea what she's talking about. With a confusing expression that might have been a blush and might have been sulking, Momotake flew over to the final mining machine. He stopped in midair in front of the shaft of the rugged mining machine, which extended dozens of meters into the air, and took a pose like an EI master. Then he focused his mind. I wonder what kind of cool name he gave that cool finishing move.
Now then, Momotake, time to go all out! Summon the wind! When the storm arrives and you cry out, the thunderous blade will growl at the unforgivable shadow of evil! The time has come for your finishing move,
He's so funny.
The time has come for your finishing move,
Even though he had finally thought up a cool pose and move name with Aisha's help, Momotake's face went red, his mind went blank, and he froze. What sort of cool name could it be? This is Momotake, so I'm sure it'll be really, really cool. Good luck, Momotake!
Come on, Momotake, you can do it. I helped you practice for so long, so please make it cool. Now, Momotake, it's time for your finishing move, the
secret technique. I bit my tongue!
Give me back the 20 hours I spent helping you practice!
Moaning as though something was caught in his throat, he unleashed it. However, everyone who saw it probably also felt like something was caught in their throats. And that thing was astonishment. It was shock. Yeah! My well of money! No! The shaft of the mining machine slowly slipped down at an angle. It was like warm butter being cut with a knife. No, the massive shaft of the mining machine had been sliced in half as though a metal-cutting sword out of a manga had been used against it. When Momotake did an EI slash, he didn't have any sort of blade in his hands. This was a specialized weapon that no gauntlet knight anywhere else in the world could use, the dimensional vibration blade. That invisible weapon, which turned the gaps between dimensions into a blade by utilizing dimension container technology, could theoretically slice through any substance. Okay. Of course, it took an insane amount of energy to use, making it a trump card that couldn't be shown off often. It seems I've sullied my blade once.
You screwed up your line again! Don't turn red, that just makes it more obvious!
Momotake, that was so cool! Though I didn't quite catch the move name. Hehehe, they're so silly. I hope nothing bad happens anytime soon. This is Thalathatsuyuf. We'll reach the target in 5 minutes. As soon as we do, we'll start securing VIPs and defending the camp. This is the command center calling. Thalathatsuyuf. The situation has changed. 17 minutes ago, the refugee camp was attacked by the ACR military, and the target you're supposed to defend was abducted. Thalathatsuyuf's mission has been altered. Begin an air-to-ground retrieval operation to secure the target.
Wow! It's just the kind of dive bomb strategy I'm best at!
If the target's on foot, that will be fine, but... Pictures of the target's face and pieces of information about their physique were shown on their mental displays one after another. Also, it told them that he had a miniature military tracking device on him, and that they would be able to get his exact location if they could get close enough. The target has been put inside a military vehicle and is traveling towards an Air Force base at 70 kilometers per hour. They probably intend to transport him by air from there. Naturally, the situation will grow worse the closer he gets to that base. Thalathatsuyuf reads you. We'll immediately catch up to the convoy and secure the target from the air. Good luck, and may God go with you.
Ooh, we really are lucky. Good thing the target has a tracking device on him.
Why would a leader of peace from a refugee camp have an ABN combined military emergency tracker?
Someone at the ABN base must have given it to him as a good luck charm, in case he got in trouble. Well...
Let's just assume Naima is right. Time to clean up after the guidance department. This is the flagship of the AOU Atlantic Fleet, the aircraft carrier Roger Jameson. You're coming in loud and clear, Your Highness.
Tell the Atlantic Fleet to return to port immediately. Though, I suppose if you actually agreed to do that, you could hardly call yourselves soldiers, yes?
I'm glad you understand, Your Highness. We're guardians of peace, just like you. I doubt either of us would give up on supporting the walls of peace from both sides.
Then what will you do? Will you continue on into the region of the Atlantis Spirit Field and stare down the Atlantis fleet?
That situation would be so volatile, anything might happen. Neither fleet wanted to fight. However, if they were close enough to glare at each other, all sorts of mistakes might be made. If there were warhawks in the upper ranks, there might also be warhawks mixed in throughout the fleets, and it was possible that they would overreact or pretend to move by mistake, trying to trigger an accidental conflict. If Rethabil and the others could use the time bought by this tense stare-down to let the politicians cool their heads and negotiate, they might be able to resolve this peacefully. However, negotiating like this, oh my gosh. However, negotiating is like playing poker, using your ability to escalate tensions as your chips. Negotiating in a situation that's already extremely volatile is like playing without any chips. And if someone doesn't pay up, both sides will have to fight. Slowly, cautiously, and for the sake of resolving this peacefully, both fleets would have to put as much distance between each other as possible. Logically speaking, I agree with you. However, we're soldiers. We cannot disobey our orders. I understand. In that case, if I see to it that you return to port anyway, I will merely have resolved this issue in a way that only a soldier can. Do you think your prized aerial augmented infantry is a match for the Atlantic Fleet, the pride of the AOU? Take a defensive posture. In a few minutes, my cat will advance into the range of your radar. There's no need for warning shots. Attack us with everything you have. We're about to prove that the power of the aerial knights extends beyond the virtual reality of the Battled Standard Festival. We'll use it to make you return to port. I pray for your safety. Transmission over. She's kidding, right? The aerial augmented infantry only exists in games and VR sports, right? They're advancing with a cat? Doesn't that mean a 3-person aerial augmented infantry squad? The fleet that ruled the Atlantic, commanded by an attack-specialized carrier and containing several Aegis-equipped warships, would be challenged by just 3 kids flying through the air. Set Condition 1 throughout the battle group and prepare for anti-air defense. Scramble fighters. All ships ready anti-swarm tactics equipment. This will be the first anti-aerial augmented infantry battle in the history of the world. All troops, don't let your guards down. Our enemies aren't just virtual images that slipped out of some video game. Because they were from a virtual sport, because they were from a game, it was easy to accept that they could fly freely through the sky and had shields that could withstand any attack. But what if they really existed, and actually were invincible knights who could fly, and actually were capable of fighting on the same level as a fleet? Even on the bridge, there were quite a few people who had played Gauntlet Knight video games. Would those really, truly, be attacking them? And it's the end of the chapter. Okay, yeah, I definitely think I need to stop for today, but I'm glad that we got this far. You can maybe hear it, that my throat has gotten tired, but, I wanted to keep going, so I will drink some tea or hot water after this and practice better practice better practices in the future. And clearly my brain is also fried. But thank you so much for watching today. Chapter 11 of Ciconia When They Cry. And I will see you next time with chapter 12. So thank you very much and have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.